Good morning, everybody. And it is a glorious morning because Donald Trump has won the US presidency election for 2024. And I was up all night. I was up watching it all day and all night as the results came in and as the election proceeded yesterday and right up until now. And it wasn't certain at the beginning, but as the evening went on, it became clearer and clearer that President Trump was going to win. He won North Carolina and in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. So now it's done. And there's a few states still to come in, but he's over the 270 votes he needs in the Electoral College at the time I'm making the video. And the amazing thing is, the great thing is, and thing that I think a lot of people were hoping for and praying for, is that the results would be done and dusted on the evening, on the night of the election. And it was. I mean, UK time, it was clear by 6 or 7 in the morning, which in US Eastern time, that's 1 or 2 in the morning. And he went out in Florida to give his victory speech just about 2:30 in the morning local time. So the results were done. It was clear. There's no question that he hasn't won. He has won clear, fair and square on the night within a few hours of the ballots closing, the polling closing. So that's great. It's done. It's dusted. Kamala Harris is nowhere to be seen. She's just disappeared. Apparently, she didn't give a conciliation call, whatever you call it, to concede that she'd lost the election. She just disappeared and she's nowhere to be seen. So I think she might have, gone to unburden herself from what has been, which is 4 years of complete disaster under Biden and Harris, not just for the USA, but for the world as well. But Trump is here again. He's the 47th president as well as the 45th president of the United States, which is good for the USA. It's good for the world as a whole. It's good for, especially for the other countries in the West, European countries that hopefully now some of the craziness in many of the leaders we've got in European countries, and obviously here in the UK, we've got a terrible, terrible regime in place here, which needs to be curtailed in what it's doing, in its destructiveness here in the UK and also abroad as well. So he's going to do that. I mean, domestically, obviously, the people of the USA have voted for President Trump because he's going to strengthen the economy. He's going to bring jobs back to America. He's going to build manufacturing. He's going to lower taxes for individuals and for businesses to stimulate growth. So people will want to work harder. They'll want to start businesses. People will be encouraged to be entrepreneurs. He's going to get energy prices down by developing oil and coal and gas, the resources they have in the USA, rather than this insane policy, which is all over the world, this net zero policy of not using oil, coal and gas, even though it works, and closing it down to try to depend on energy from wind and solar, which doesn't provide any energy when the wind stops blowing and the sun stops shining. It's the most insane set of policies that you can imagine to dismantle an infrastructure that has been built up over decades that works, tear it all down and put in place something that doesn't work. I mean, it's just utterly insane. And President Trump is going to reverse that and get back to sanity in energy, which also, of course, is the basis of the economy. People voted for themselves, people voted for their country, people voted for businesses. People also voted against the insanity of extreme wokery, particularly the transgenderism, where you have the Democrats insisting that men who dress up as women can go into women's changing rooms, women's toilets, women's spaces, whatever. I mean, I'm not into women taking over men's sports and spaces either, but obviously this is something that is goes way beyond that in terms of safety. Aggressive transgender male to female transgenders are threatening the safety of women, and nobody wants that, men and women alike, decent men anyway. So he's going to stop all that, particularly pushing the transgender ideology on schools. He's going to stop that from happening, stop the sexualization of children in schools, and let kids be kids, which is just all anyone really wants. They just want to be left alone by the state and by woke activists, LGBT activists, climate activists, and whatever other kind of insane activists you can happen. Just the people just want to get on with their lives and bring up their families and go about their business and be free to be proud of their country and enjoy their culture. And that's all people want. And that's what President Trump is offering, just basic sanity and common sense. But, around the world, obviously one of the biggest and most important things is he's going to stop the war in Ukraine, the Ukraine-Russia war, which has been supported and continued by billions, tens of billions of dollars from the Biden-Harris regime. That's going to come to an end when he takes power, and the slaughter is going to stop. The war's going to stop, and that's, that can't be underestimated in the good that will come from stopping the war, or the end of the bad that is being done at the moment by perpetuating this completely unnecessary conflict and hostility with Russia. So I'm looking forward to him stepping in and stopping the war in Ukraine and getting back to normal relations with Russia, which is good for all of Europe as well, because if Europe can start buying oil and gas from Russia, energy prices go down in the European market, and of course that helps the UK as well, which is linked in, to the European energy infrastructure and energy market. It's one of those things. And we've left the EU, but we're still part of this market because all the pipelines are all interconnected. We're interconnected with Norway and the Netherlands and France and so on for our energy and electricity. So, that's just the way it is. Getting back to good relations with Russia, or normal trading relations with Russia, will bring energy prices down in the UK, which will be good for the UK economy as well. We've got to get rid of this insane Labour government that we've got, though, which is deliberately demolishing anything good in the economy by taxing everybody out of business. We need to get rid of them as well at the ballot box. So somehow, the sooner the better. But anyway, I digress. But it's fantastic that President Trump has won. Imagine the alternative. It's almost unimaginable now. It's not imaginable because she's gone and they're going. And on January the 6th, President Trump will be inaugurated and he'll take over. So I'm looking forward to that day. But imagine the alternative. It would just be an utter disaster. She would have flooded the United States with so many illegal migrants that they would have swung the ballot everywhere, and it would have been, maybe in another 4 years' time, I doubt there would have been a United States of America left if Harris had won. Thank goodness she hadn't. Was there election rigging, ballot rigging this time? Almost certainly there was. But I think the numbers of people who went out was incredible, and it was too big to rig. I think they did try to rig. There were stories of lines being having to wait for hours to submit their ballot papers, a gas leak off to stop voting happening in one of the ballots in a Trump-leaning county in Nevada, and there were machines going down and breaking down, running out of ink, and all of these kind of things happening in various places. But people have been trained to look at it. There's millions of people who are going to vote for Trump, and they're all there with their phones. They're recording every single abnormality in the voting process and immediately calling Republican lawyers teams to get lawyers down to sort it out immediately. So there definitely were attempts in various places to rig the vote, to stop people voting for Trump, but they were sorted out. There were so many people watching this time because people were ready. They'd seen what had happened in 2020, where obviously there was huge ballot fraud going on. I mean, Biden getting 80 million votes. Really, seriously, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But this time, even though there's some signs of ballot rigging going on, Trump is on course to win the popular vote as well. So, the time of me making this video, Trump has about 70 million votes to Kamala Harris's 64 million. So as well as winning the Electoral College, he's on course to win the popular vote by a country mile in this election. So, some of the crazy liberal lefties are blaming the Electoral College system for Trump's win, but they can't because he's going to win the popular vote as well. So the Republican Party has won the presidency, the popular vote, the Senate, and the House. So it's a full sweep for MAGA, Make America Great, the MAGA movement, and Trump tonight. And that's fantastic. And it's going to be good for America and good for the world as well. Well, I've been up all night, so I'm pretty tired now. So I just thought I'm going to share my thoughts this morning, and I'm sure all of you are waking up to the news or have woken up to the news. And as the results come in through the day, it's going to be even more glorious as we see him go way over 300 in the Electoral College, and it's going to be a clearly cemented win for Trump to have full legitimacy as president, to turn America and to turn the world around for the good over the next 4 years. So a blessed day for America, a blessed day for the world. Thanks for watching, everyone. God bless you all.